What's up there, guys? This is Mike Ruggirello back for another Theory Thursday, and today we are going to do some practice techniques and some licks and some chord progressions. Pretty simple, but expand our vocabulary. You know, these are going to be hopefully ideas that you can use for just jamming, playing, and you know, I like to call them your shopping riffs. Anyways, so let's begin. Okay, so there is a few exercises that I like to practice, and I suggest this. And this, you know, when some of us have weak fingers, whether it's the weak pinky or maybe an injury that you're recovering from, I like to practice an exercise called the spider. Check it out. It looks like this. So it's going to consist of two strings. You're going to pick your A string and pluck your B string. So essentially this is the mechanism. Back and forth, pick, pluck, pick, pluck. So while that's happening, ring finger, you're going to position all four fingers in a row between first and fourth fret, in the middle of their frets, evenly spaced. So the pattern goes 3, which is your A string pick, and then the first fret, pluck, B string. So that's 3, 1. The next move, 2, and another thing, the numbers are also corresponding to the fingers, meaning index is 1, middle is 2, ring is 3, and pinky is 4. So we have 3, 1, then it goes 2, 4, and that is your middle finger, second fret A string, which is picked, and then the pluck. Okay? So it's probably the best idea to play these two back and forth for like 30 seconds. Get to know these. Yes, you want to position your thumb behind the neck like that. Okay, so let's carry on. So far we have the 3, 1, 2. Yeah, 3, 1, and 2, 4. Then we advance to 1, 3, which is pick, pluck. Okay? 1, 3. Same frets and same fingers. Then your fourth and final move is 4, 2. And that is with your pinky, fourth fret, and then your middle finger, second fret. Pick. So this is why they call it the spider. When you start throwing some momentum on it, you know, you do want to practice with a metronome. Another really good exercise is it's a chromatic exercise, and it's just on one string. You simply position all four fingers like this. So you do use the open note. So the first part you do is 5 notes. And then right after that you position your hand to the 5th fret, and now you play 5 through 8. And then you position your hand on the 9th fret and you go all the way to 12. So what you have is just a perfect linear, you know, all half steps. So, 2 exercises for you to polish and sharpen up your chops. Add some strength to your hand. Very good to do. I certainly recommend it. So let's carry on. Next part of this lesson, I want to talk about some good rock and roll vocabulary. Just a couple simple moves. They sound great for testing out a new guitar, a new amplifier, or just simply doing a sound check. Here's the A chord. So that's no big deal, but it sounds cool when you have some distortion going on. Another one, this is easy D, and then going over to the G right here. And then of course mixing in some, this is A5, which is basically a power chord, and then right here is A6, and this is A7. So this is very customary to rock, playing whether it be blues or just really, you know, hot rod rock, or, you know, right? So when you're mixing that in with these open chords like D and G, you know, it can be certainly in the main vein of AC/DC as well. And, you know, one more ingredient where it's classic rock heaven. This is certainly beloved by Rolling Stones and Joe Walsh and countless others guys. It's basically a double stop. All right? And, you know, this ends up right here. This is going to be a C chord. But if you hammer on, it's a double hammer on. My ring finger hammer on the 7th fret D. The G string is left alone, and then your middle finger hammers on the 8th fret B string, so it hammers at the same time. And that ends up being an F chord. So there's C, and that's F. That's like going like this, C to F. But again, this is an inversion, and this inversion is very popular in rock and roll and writing riffs and songs. So check it out. We have 3 ideas. We have the open chords, you know, like let's just say A, C, and G. You know, the D is real watered down but raw. So is this G. You can hear it sounds hollow. I'm actually sort of muting out a little bit more in here, and more than I should be. There you go. So we have those chords, then we have the A5, A6, and A7, right? Then we have the C and the F, right? So I think it'll be fair. Let's take this idea, because of maybe what's transpiring right here. It'll sound better if we actually play D and G, just like D and G. Okay, we can just play that move right here. I think you recognize this. Right? You know? So check out this little number. I'm going to improv these 3 little moves for you. So that was all 3 ideas right there in a riff. E, then E, so that's a very useful riff, you know. There's not a lot of bad places where that you can do that. So those are some cool ideas. You know, try them out and mix them up. You know, a lot of us already do that, but just maybe, you know, literally using 3 different techniques, you know, in a call and response fashion. All right, so let's get to the part of this segment about licks. One lick that shows up a lot is I'm gonna make our examples just write in A minor, in the A minor penta box right here. So here's our scale that will be in our skeleton. This is our skeleton. So that's what's happening. And I'll suggest, you know, learning a lick, also play the scale, you know, ascend and descend the scale. You want to ascend, play the lick, descend with it. So if that's the fashion of the scale right there, you take the bend. And, you know, there's a lot of different things that you can do afterwards, but the point is that you go up the scale. Maybe hold it just for musical fashion, and then you descend. You know, you want to hear it in context as opposed to just practicing the lick over and over. Okay, so here is a lick that we'll all have a lot of fun with. You start with, it's a downstroke, on the so what happens right there, you grab the pinky. What happens right there, so you take your index finger, it's a downstroke, then you do a pull off 5th fret. So it's basically a downstroke, upstroke, pull off, and then when you put your ring finger on the 7th fret G, put a middle finger right behind it, because this acts as an anchor. Anchor meaning you get more strength. And then, you know, at the same time, your index finger is also, it's ready to go. It's contingent on playing this note, because this is the note that you're bending to, which is the interval 5. It's the 5th interval on the scale. That's an E right there. That's a really good exercise too, just walking up, making sure you have that whole step perfectly. Then you go back down. You get really sturdy with your bending up and bending down. Make sure those whole steps are very, you know, have maybe a nice sweetness to the way they take off, but that's important. So while that is transpiring, you do that like 2 times. Let's just say 4 times. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Then we're gonna go and do a bend right here. And this is where you get your practice in. You put all 4 fingers in a row. 5th fret, 6th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret, and you do a whole step bend. This is bending home. This is bending to the A. Right there. And at that point, you can say, hey, there's your index finger. You're waving to the camera. Put it right here on the 5th fret right here and check in with yourself. See that? You want to maintain perfect unison. There's a lot of nice properties there. There's muscle memory, and your ear gets used to it. So here's 4 of each of that lick. I'm Mike Ruggirello, and I had a great time showing you some techniques and some licks today. If you have any questions or comments, please, you know what to do, and I'll see you next week.